Hello, good evening, gentlemen. It's 9 o'clock. It's Tuesday, the 4th of July. A very, very happy Independence Day to all in America. If you're watching this on replay, hello, good evening, welcome, and have a nice day, and all that kind of stuff. Cheers, okay? So, 4th of July, happy Independence Day. Well, I'll tell you what, I almost didn't make this stream because I fell asleep. I fell asleep. And I just woke up less than an hour ago and oh, what the hell's happening? I don't one of those moments when you inexplicably fall asleep and then can't wake up again. The way I see it, if America could have a president known as Sleepy Joe, then I could do a little old live stream and be Sleepy Eddie, okay? So I'm probably waking up during the course of the stream. Anyway, we got a former US president in the house, Donald Trump. There you go. Nice to hear from you, Mr. Trump. The local president is in the house. Okay, nice to hear from you. Reborn Itsy and Betsy. Reborn Itsy and Betsy. Love from North Thailand. Oh, good for you. Anyway, good for you. Brian Street, greetings from a rather damp Swindon. Well, you know, the British summertime didn't last very long, did it? Didn't last very long. Richard O. Good evening. I hope everyone's doing good. 9 more days until I'm sitting in the department lounge at Terminal 2, sipping a beer in the London Pride en route to Bangkok. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Martin Ryder's here. Nice to hear from you. Leeds. Good evening, Eddie. How's it all going? We're keeping off the booze. Well, I am drinking a hot chocolate. And you know something? For a rather... well, I won't say cold, but certainly doesn't feel like summertime. It's peddling down outside. A nice hot chocolate is perfect. Oh, that's lovely. That's bloody good. Funnily enough, I think that's the thing that you're supposed to drink before you go to bed, not when you just wake up. Okay, well, whatever. Sceneries, good evening. Wayne Ritchie, nice to hear from you, mate. Joe Hart is here, nice to hear from you. Yeah, McLaren and Clive says, happy independence from Britain, Great Britain, America bros. Okay, nice to hear from you, mate. Techie B says, evening, Eddie, what about those robbing bastard supermarkets? Well, they've been caught out, haven't they? Yeah, for overcharging at the fuel pump. Now, maybe they were charging extortionate prices when during the time when I was abroad, because I was away for a lot. Apparently, the fuel at sky high prices during the winter time. But personally, I don't really fill my car up from those kind of supermarket filling stations. I don't use it because you don't always know what kind of fuel it is. A mechanic, a very, very good mechanic, who I used for years, he told me not to use those places because it may be a couple of pennies cheaper for a litre of diesel, but you don't know what kind of quality it is. I prefer to use, the name brands, Esso, Shell, that sort of stuff. Mark Holland, nice to hear from you, mate. Happy Independence to you, mate. Gemini Star. Let's see. Okay, Martin Ryder says, Brian Street, it breaks my heart going back to Ilford these days. Can't recognise the place. Okay. Sean Jones, good evening. Barry from EastEnders. Rainy nights like this make me miss Thailand. Get me back there now. Well, it rains in Thailand. I mean, this is the rainy season in Thailand, isn't it, right now? So you're likely to get rain there. But at least it's warm rain. At least it's proper shorts and T-shirts. And you still have a lot of fun there. Even in the rain, you can have a lot of fun there. Okay, Carl D is here. Nice to hear from you. Dickie Bay pisses down in Wales. Jesus Christ, it's like that everywhere. Well, I'm in the southern England, and it's like that here. David Martin, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you. David Martin, has been on the phone anyway. He's called into this live stream. So Nice to hear from him again. Delayed Dave is here. Good evening, Eddie. Evening all. Okay, nice to hear from you. Mark Ollig, fireworks from the independent USA. Okay, happy once again. Happy Independence Day to you. I mean, this was 1776 when on this day when the Americans signed the independence documents to get rid of the British. Don't blame you. Don't blame you. Martin Ryder, Eddie's dried in a cream cracker left out in the sun for 2 weeks. That's good. Never heard that one before. Yeah, Gemini said, I've got to love the British weather. I must admit, when it was raining today, I thought, all that, beautiful vegetation we have, the plants, the trees, everything, it needs watering. Fine. So I'm quite happy with that. But when you get it peddling down day after day after day, it gets a bit depressing then. Richard O, Tom Selleck's Magnum PI is 40 years old today, apparently. So that would make it 1983. Really, not a bad little series. Dan. He certainly had a bit of charisma, didn't he? I thought it was out before. Oh, was that? Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. Whatever. I never really watched the show that much, but it looked like a good series. A lot of fun. Paul Hoskin, Burger Day in the UK. Okay, nice to hear from you, Paul. Oh, Paul's well, mate. Yours Travels is here. Nice to hear from you. Sean Harris. There you go. There you go. Sean, we love the Americans. We love the Americans here. Sean Harris says, evening all. Happy independence to our American cousins. Okay, there you go. Gemini Star, happy Independence Day. But Bobby Crush, Eddie, will you be telling us you don't drink anymore, or do you think 88 times is enough? Oh, I don't know. We may as well go for the 100. I don't drink. There you go. We're up to 90 now anyway. Steve Soldier, how long till the hot chocolate plug? Now. Oh, that's bloody good. That's so good. You have to have another cup afterwards. That helps me wake up. That does. That's bloody good. That is absolutely bloody good. Well, what else is happening on a Tuesday night? May as well talk about giving up booze and hot chocolate and all that. Charlie, more news regarding the Vietnam visa, along with 90 days e-visa. There's also going to be a 45-day visa exemption. That's a progression. So it's very easy to get to get 105 between Thailand and Vietnam without any immigration issues. That's good stuff. Well, maybe Thailand should go the same way. It'd be nice if you arrive in Thailand and there was no visa. You could get a 90-day visa on arrival. I mean, with the Vietnam 90-day e-visa, that sounds very, very gen. But these countries seem to do U-turns on visas all the time, don't they? I mean. Vietnam was tipped as a retirement destination, and then all of a sudden their visa rules decided to make it very, very difficult for expats to retire in Vietnam. So you never know what's coming next, really. Frank Travels, nice to hear from you. Toby Price, hello from Chonburi. Hello from Chonburi. Okay, good for you, mate. Anyway, Damon is here. Nice to hear from you, Damon. Evening, my love. Okay, thank you, Damon. Just booked my ticket to Land of Smiles mid-August to mid-September. Get booking, Mr. Ed. I want to see you out there again, having a laugh together. You kind of say, okay, good for you. Well, like you said, I've been thinking about the idea of maybe during the summertime, or this year. But like I did explain the other day, I'm really happy as Larry being off the booze, and I don't want to spoil it. I think a little bit longer being sober, and I won't be on such precarious ground. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm quite happy right now just to be here and be dull. But so good for you anyway. Good for you. Life Utopia, even though that intro video makes me want to get to Thailand as soon as possible. Miss those wild, raucous, hot and crazy nights out there when anything can happen. I'll tell you when I really, really, really want to be in Thailand again with all those wild, raucous, hot and crazy nights. It'll probably be in the pits of January. That's when I really, really want to be out there again. Because that time of year. I mean, Thailand's so contrast with Britain. I mean, in Britain it's cold and wet and depressing, whereas Thailand is glossy, hot and sunny and great fun to be. Having said that, this is July right here right now, and it's cold and wet and depressing, so you can't win. Wayne Ritchie, I'm going to Thailand in November for 2 weeks, and then Brazil for 2 weeks. Really, that sounds an unusual trip there. And for 2 weeks. And is there any bar girls there? Well, everyone knows there's bar girls in Thailand. In Brazil, yeah, you can meet girls in the bar. It's been a while since I've been in Brazil, but Copacabana, towards the end of the beach, you know, you had a bar called the Balcony Bar, and that was a rocking bar. Loads of lovely, sexy Brazilian girls. And if you go there, you know, you know, you might meet Sandra from the Amazon. Oh, amazing, lovely stuff. She looks just like Maria Carey. Yeah, Brazil's a good place for her, but you know, obviously you've got to be. It's you know you've got to be careful there. Obviously, it's not as safe a country as Thailand. Carl J. Eddie, do you know who Pataya Pariah is? YouTuber. Pataya Pariah. I used to watch him all the time. I mean, he had a very, very unique style. I don't know if he's made any videos for a while, but he told his trips to you know, Pataya in kind of a sort of Alfred Hitchcock, Philip Marlowe, Private Eye sort of way. Very, very humorous and very, very thought provoking. And he made great videos, terrific videos. Hopefully, he'll make some more videos soon. I wouldn't mind seeing them. Steve Zodiac, bingo. Paul Hoskin, the girls call me Roger. You mean they like to Roger you? Is that what it is? Mark Oleg, 88. Impressive, you keep them going. Okay. Sean Harris. Anyone remember a Hanna-Barbera cartoon called The Funky Phantom? Vaguely, vaguely. It's not something I'd watch nowadays. Mark Oleg says, last night I fired my rocket. Good for you, mate. Good for you. I hope she was worth it. Good for you. Good for you. Mark Oleg, 247 years goes by too quickly. Well, I remember the 47 bit. I remember the big anniversary in 1976, in the 200th anniversary. I remember that one. Let's see. But Bobby Webber, hi Eddie, just checking in. Final day in my tour of Northern Italy. Oh, sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. Back home to San Remo tomorrow. I stopped off. I was doing a coach tour around this day, and I stopped off for one evening in San Remo, and it looked like a really, really. It was. I think it was a weekday evening. I think it was in the month of May, many years ago. But it looked like a lovely place, the kind of place you want to see more of. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Adventures down there. Adventures around the world. Otters Day, Everton Day, based on average world temperature. Not for the UK. That's for sure. Otters Day ever. Okay. Mark Oleg says only by made in the USA. I must have. I wouldn't mind one of those lovely Corvettes, those Chevrolet Corvettes made in the USA. But I watched some of those. There's some really, really great car documentaries. Well, not documentaries. You know, car channels on YouTube. Car Wow, Auto Trader. You know, that sort of stuff. And I watched one about the Corvette Stingray. That looks wonderful. I wouldn't mind one of them. It looks lovely. I love because like, you know, us Brits, we were brought up on American car chase movies, you know, Ford Mustangs and Corvettes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll go along with that. John Mitch, nice to hear from you, mate. Yeah, join the club. Join the club. Crypto Chris card. I bet you'll be having a drink at Crimbo. No, Christmas is a load of bollocks. Don't celebrate it, mate. Martin Ryder, Cadbury's hot chocolate, shaken, not stirred. Bloody good. Bloody good. Anyway, yourselves can be good 14 cups of hot chocolate a week. Well, I don't know, but it gives me a nice boost. It's not just a drink, but also it's it starts me getting hungry for another. It's food as well because it's got calories in it. So a couple of those in an evening time. I don't drink it any other time of day. So a couple of those of an evening time goes down nice. Sceneries. I have friends here from Vietnam working in London. They said the weather. They said they like the weather here rather than the heat in Vietnam, in Saigon. Yeah, I've met foreigners. I've met Italians. From that wonderful country called Italy, who say that they'd rather live in England than in Italy. I mean, everyone wants to live somewhere else, don't they? That's the truth of it. You know what I mean? London, a great place to visit. I'm not putting that on. John Mitz, you make your hot chocolate with 100% milk. That's what I do. No, I don't have milk. I have water with hot water with this. Because if you were to add to add milk to that as well, Jesus, that would really, really be very, very calorific. Glenn Wyndham, my grandmother loves hot cocoa too. All right, give her my love anyway. Paul Hoskin, chicken noodle copper soup. Anyway, GK Schick just joined. Still after booze, Eddie. 91. McLaren, Ed wants a bit of rumpy pumpy in January then. Yeah, that's about, I mean, right now, I'm quite happy with the status quo here. You know what I mean? Quite happy being off the booze. That's 92. I think that's the 92nd time that I've mentioned it. Quite happy. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say this. I'm going to stop saying that. Okay, I'm going to stop saying that. I'm quite happy with the status quo. As for a bit of rumpy pumpy January, we'll see what happens anyway. We'll see what happens. I will be missing Thailand. I know that much. Yeah, Mister says Kayla Davies, a Philippine of independence from USA. Beauty. Good for you. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Isle of Cock. I reckon Pattaya will be a lot less fun without alcohol. An island will be better. An island will be better. Well, I don't know. I mean, well, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I have actually gone all through that. Yeah, really. John Mitt, I'll be in Landersmiles February the 23rd till April the 23rd. Two months. Good for you. Hope to see you there. Well, good for you, mate. Anyway, good for you. We'll see what happens anyway. Toby Price, hot chocolate was Errol Brown. Yeah, he was a cool dude, wasn't he? Your Samuel, Sander from the Amazon, is now 58. He probably wouldn't be far off it. No, it's not that old. Martin Ryder says they are big knockers in Brazil. Oh, some of the bears there do have big knockers. I like big knockers. I love big knockers. They're real women there. Look, some lovely, lovely, real women there. AJ, there's no decent comedians anymore. Remember Spike Milligan, Benny Hill? I think you mean. Oh, they were wonderful. They were classic comedians. Where they were legends, absolutely. I mean, Spike Milligan, Benny Hill. I can still watch some of the old clips on YouTube now, but there are a couple, especially Benny Hill. There's some of the stuff that he did, which would really raise eyebrows nowadays. So incredibly sexist, and not always that tasteful either. Ed Ventures around the world. Pattaya Parade is back. Three new videos just went live. Okay, that's great. That's terrific. I'll have to check them out. Make some really, really fascinating, very thought-provoking videos. I'll have to check that one out. Brian Street, Martin Ryder, they're big knockers in Brazil and nuts. Yeah, you're talking about ladyboys. They do have ladyboys in Brazil. I was almost bloody caught out by one of them. Not in Rio. It was north of there. I think Fortaleza. I mean, some really, 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 really glamorous. I mean, they do have some very, very deceptive ladyboys there, if that's what you mean. Yeah, Charlie, I'm in Copacabana now, another month, and here, and then straight to Jam TM. You only live one. That sounds fantastic. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Think about those South American countries. They give very, very generous visas. I mean, some of those countries you can get 60 days, 90 days without a problem, without having to apply for it. You can get it on arrival in some of those countries. At least that's the way it used to be, anyway. Yogi Bear, good evening to you, mate. Good evening to you. Yeah. Let's see. Martin Ryder, they're shaved like a peach. Oh, all the women are shaved nowadays, aren't they? Okay, let's just have a little skip through this. Like I said, I only woke up just after 8 o'clock. I kind of crashed out inexplicably. Do you get those days when you just don't realize how tired you are? Charlie says no Western man that has been to Brazil would ever go to Asia for women. Brazil smashes them out the ballpark. Well, I've been to both. I've been to Asia and I've been to Brazil, and they're both wonderful. But but Brazil, there are some beautiful Brazilian women there. But Asia is easier. I'd say. I mean, in general, Asia, Thailand is a safer country. You will feel more relaxed in Thailand. I mean, you can go. I mean, Brazil's great. It's got some beautiful women there, but you can't always go around walking around them at night time so easily there. Whereas in Thailand, you can do without a problem. So, I mean, Thailand is a far more relaxed place. Definitely a more safer place than Brazil. Brazil was wonderful. I'd recommend it to anyone, but Thailand. I mean, it's still a marvelous place, and there are some gorgeous women in Thailand as well. Yeah, Greg Basnight. Ed, we need another live stream from Helicopter Bar in Phnom Penh. Oh, yeah, I know that. Earth and Kate. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Well, the next time I'm out there, yeah, we'll wait. We'll arrange that one. Mister Heat made phone charging nearly impossible. Okay, okay. Ivan, I had a long weekend in Verona and Garda Lake. Stunning scenery, great food. Paid £40 for a return flight. The advantage of living in the UK. Had a long weekend in Verona and Garda Lake. Stunning. Look, I think I've been to Verona. I think I have passed through Verona. Wonderful part of the world. Wonderful part of the world. Bintman, you've seen the price of flights for next year? 850 quid. Cheapest direct flight. The hotel I stayed at this year, you talking about Thailand now. The hotel I stayed at this year and I paid 280 for 20 nights. It's now over for oh god, it's getting the travel is getting more expensive across the board. It really, really is. John Mitch, I bought a 1950 Chevy Deluxe in Bogota. It's being shipped to Florida to be sold. Good for you, mate. Good for you. That sounds bloody good. A 1950 Chevy Deluxe. Okay, that sounds bloody good. I mean, I've been in some of those old American cars, the ones that they have in Cuba, and they're cool, but are they always that reliable? Good for you, anyway, mate. Mister Venezuela beauties. Yeah, to me, I mean, Venezuela, they used to regularly win the Miss World contest, didn't they? Yeah, uh, wonderful stuff. Let's see, S Travels 4K. Evening Ed from the crew from the French Riviera can. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Are you going to film some of those women with the teddies out? I mean, do you remember like in the 1970s? British holiday programs or even documentary reports from the Cannes Film Festival. It was never ever complete if they didn't show a pair of titties. I mean, I wonder, you know, anyone remember the holiday program, the 1970s or 1980s, especially the 1980s? They loved showing tits on it. I'm kind of wondering, to any of those, did any of those holiday makers on the beaches at Mallorca or French Riviera or whatever, did they come back to England or watching the TV with the families? And then next thing you know, they're walking around topless on the beach on the BBC. I mean, the French Riviera can't. I'd love to see that, but I must admit, when I was young, I used to watch reports on the French Riviera simply because you can guarantee they're going to show a pair of tits in it sooner or later. Hopefully, Mr. S. No, we won't show that on YouTube. But anyway, S. Travels 4K. I can't wait to see his report from there. He does some wonderful videos. Wonderful. I was watching one of them the other night. Terrific videos. Good for you, mate. Anyway, have a lovely time. Anyway, Mo Mac, nice to hear from you. Super Adventures is here, okay? Vin Valentine. I love Eddie's full name, Edward Sweeney. Well, the only bloody one that does. Travel and Milkshake. Ed likes titties with milkshake. Oh, okay. Dickie B. Eddie, have you thought about any of the Emirates, Dubai, etc., Middle East in the wintertime? Less alcohol about to send you, and it's too bloody expensive. Well, I mean, those countries, how warm are those countries in the winter? I mean, what have they got to offer, really? The Middle East in the wintertime. I mean, they're not as blazing hot. I don't really know what they would have to offer, really, in the wintertime. Let's see. Several lad. Oh, the Pride Festival's finished, yeah? Well, I'll be bucketed about now. Let's see. Andrew Hammond, I'll be traveling through Vietnam and Thailand in December, January. But before that, I'll be going to some of the Stan countries. Oh, he gets around Stan, doesn't he? Jesus Christ, he's traveled more than Marco Polo, Stan has. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and the border of Afghanistan. Well, good for you. That sounds really, really adventurous. Good for you, mate. And say hello to Stan as well. Gemini Star, Brazilian butters killing European women. Fake butter, okay. Yours Travel says, lots of time massages places here for a little fun. Then swap numbers with one you like. UK hotel, okay, okay. Where is that? Is that in Liverpool? Is that in Liverpool? Robert Burnett, I agree with your views on illegal immigration. Just too profitable for the rulers. But then for 300 years, there was Britigation. Ask India and other nations, but there would be no rugby. The thing is, we all know Britain went and colonized other countries. Britain poked their nose into countries where they weren't welcome. But, you know, hundreds of years later, do we owe do we owe these sort of developing countries because we once invaded them? Personally, I wasn't alive when Britain went and colonized, African countries and bloody India and those. I wasn't alive then, so you can't hold me personally responsible for it. I mean, that's a question, isn't it? We may as well, you know. There you go. I'm going to put a question on the screen there. There you go. So what do you reckon? Should us Brits be held responsible for things that happened hundreds of years ago? I mean, I'm bloody pissed off. With these people who say, yeah, but we should welcome immigrants into the country because we went to their country 300 years ago. Well, I didn't. I didn't personally go to their country 300 years ago. I'm going to have round two of my mug of coffee. It's not. No, I'm going to have round two of my mug of hot chocolate. Back in a moment. Okay. Here we go. Matthew Cartwright says Britain colonized and built roads, hospitals, talking them the English language, made them far better off. We didn't go there and create slums and have loads of kids. That's the first. That's probably the best comment of the night. Absolutely, mate. That is absolutely amazing. That very well said, Matthew. Very well said. Very well said. Yours travels. I'm the same, Clive. Swap every 2 years. Oh, that's something else. Brian Street says no. Ed Ventures, is Germany paying reparations to the UK for well? I think that's all done and dusted. Last I heard. Martin Reiser, can we blame the Romans, Saxons, Vikings, and Normans for invading us? Well, they done all of that, didn't they? I think the Vikings. I mean, Vikings are bloody in places where you wouldn't expect. There's a lot of Viking, stuff in places like Liverpool. The Vikings got around, didn't they? And I think there's some people who believe that the Vikings, not Christopher Columbus, were actually the first ones who made it to America. I read something about that once. The Romans, you can still there's some Roman stuff that you can still see the Romans. When I drive along a very straight road, I think was this originally a Roman road? No, I don't blame the Romans, the Saxons, the Vikings, or anything like that. So I wouldn't expect to go to Italy. I mean, because the Romans came to Britain once, I wouldn't bloody expect to go to Italy and take my half a dozen kids there and expect benefit from the roof over my head, courtesy of the Italian taxpayer. I wouldn't expect that. I mean, I wouldn't use the excuse, well, the bloody Romans came here 2,000 years ago. Absolutely. Yeah, super advances. Every country has forgotten about the past. No, not when it's convenient to them. I mean, when it's convenient to some of these developing, backward. Let's say that use that word, backward countries. When they come here, wanting, our social security. They haven't forgotten about the past. Quite often they'll bloody say, yeah, but you were in our country 300 years ago. Sean Young, I want combo from France after the invasion of 1066. Where do you draw the line? It's bloody crazy. Absolutely. Paranoid Peter said, we're paying for the sins of our forefathers, by putting up with mass immigration, which is destroying the fabric of the country. Okay, fair enough. I mean, the thing is, I mean, apparently countries like Ireland have got terrible problems with, immigrants from Africa. I mean, since when did Ireland, invade parts of Africa? I don't recall anything like that. AG, Ed time for that gormless bastard Bernie Winters. Okay, somebody mentioned some wonderful comedians from the 1970s: Benny Hill, Spike Milligan. Well, Bernie Winters was not one of them. He was not one of the wonderful comedians. He was part of a shite duo called Mike and Bernie Winters, and he was allegedly the funny one. And he had the worst catchphrase in the history of catchphrases. His catchphrase was "E." Okay, that was Bernie Winters. He was the funny one. I think his dog Snorbits was funnier than he was. Guy, I look okay. Hit the like, guy. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Guy says so. Okay. Dickie B. No, the Italians will be paying for what Rome done. Mongolians will be paying for the Vikings and almost a shitload of other civilizations. Where does it all end? Yeah, absolutely. It's all gone bloody crazy. I reckon we should wipe the slate clean, and nobody should come to Britain expecting benefits and a council house and us to feed and clothe their half a dozen kids on the basis that we once visited their country 300 years ago. It's absolutely crazy. Well said, Dickie B. Moso Kenny. Brits also triple the life expectancy of the people in the countries they invaded with modern medicine and teaching personal hygiene. we saw the personal hygiene. So sorry, in some countries they didn't learn very well. Some countries where they shit in the street and bags of food outside. You go and take a crap on the. I've heard all about it, mate. Gemini Star, can we have the Viking? I think you mean, can we hold the Vikings responsible? The Vikings are responsible because they made one of the best historical movies with Kirk Douglas and Tony Curtis. In fact, there was another great movie called that came out a few years later after the Vikings. I think it was called The Long Ships. Richard Widmark was in it, and Sidney Poitier was in The Long Ships. That is also a very, very good Viking movie. But I think the Kirk Douglas and Tony Curtis one, that was the most memorable one. And like I said, I mentioned this last night, I want a Viking funeral. I want to be pushed out into the middle of the River Mersey in a rowing boat with a mast, and loads of scousers are at the pierhead firing flaming arrows at the mast to the sound of da da da. Oh, absolutely. That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. Pity I wouldn't be allowed to see it. Anyway, okay. Now, can we have the Vikings responsible? Responsible for what? For what? I'll tell you what. I mean, the Vikings, were bloody awful, and when they invaded this country, as I mean, imagine if, when they came here, doing all kinds of heinous things. Imagine if all the women in Britain look like Lisa Dale. That'd put them in the bloody boat to get out of here soon enough. Mo Mac, 100 plus watching and only 20 likes. Come on, okay, press the thumbs up, everyone. It's free and it does help the channel. Yeah, it does help the channel. But someone on YouTube might think, why are people pressing the thumbs up all of a sudden? Well, it's because I told you to. Tim Johnson, we already send billions to these countries, so what? what was the name of that politician? Was his name Godfrey Bloom or something like that? A very, very strange name. Last I seen, he had a YouTube channel. But he was sacked from the Raven, no, not the Raven Looney, but the other incarnation of the Raven Looney, the UKIP. He was giving UKIP a bit of a bad name, because it was branded as being full of fruit cakes and closet races and all that. But didn't he use the term, we're sending all this money, all this vast amounts of money to bloody bonga land. So these leaders of these countries, can buy Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Paris apartments and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd like to know all this money that we send to all of these countries. What does it all go on? Who pockets it? And what car are they planning on buying? Andrew Hammond, the African illegal immigrants just want to bring their lawless way of life to Britain and Europe. Look at France now. This will only get worse with our softy politicians doing nothing about it. Oh, whoever invented the recipe for this Cadbury's hot chocolate deserves an award. Lovely stuff, beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Okay, fair enough, Andrew. Tim Johnson, we already sent billions over to these countries already, so we got nothing to feel guilty about. We don't own anyone. We don't own anyone. And what are we sending these countries? I don't know if it's billions, but so some of them were sending bloody many millions and tens of millions, hundreds of millions to these third world countries to help them out. I mean, why? A lot of these countries, the corrupt leaders pocket this money for their lavish lifestyle, and the poor bastards it was intended for never actually say anything of the money anyway. Why are we doing that? AG, this is going to be commented tonight. What's going on, big fat ass? Okay, all right, whatever. Make what you please of that one. Glenn Wyndham, hence the Minnesota Vikings. That's a cool name. The Minnesota Vikings. Is that a football team? That's cool. That is really, really cool. That's cool. Dickie Bay, Vikings definitely first to North America, generally accepted now. Yeah, they got around those Vikings. They really, really did. Charlie, what did the Romans ever do for us? Well, what did the Romans? Well, they gave us roads, they gave us lots of bloody things. They gave us water, and they taught the backward British at the time to live a more civilized life, even though it was quite impressive. And they made some bloody good movies as well. The Fall of the Roman Empire. That's a very, very handsome epic. Ben-Hur. Some wonderful movies based on that time. Paul Hoskin, did the Roman soldiers wear underpants? No, they weren't sissies. Somebody else invented underpants, mate. Sean Harris, it's history and we should not be held accountable for past generations. Okay, absolutely. Because when Britain was supposed to be committing heinous acts in many of these countries, I mean, history's full of bastards. Even some of their own family as well. Henry VIII, not the most savoury of characters. World history is full of bastards. Even modern world history. You go back. I mean, only have to go back. What, 40 years? 45 years or so to the days of, Pol Pot and all this kind of stuff. And there's even modern day bastards like that one in Syria who's using chemical weapons against his own people, and he's still there in power. Last I looked, So history's full of bastards. We can't be held responsible for history all the time. We've got to get on with our lives. We've got to, times are hard. We're all in the same boat. Let us look after ourselves. David Martins, no, we've done enough already, okay? Crypto Chris card. Italian PM is letting them in just like us. She's supposed to be far right, but it seems like she's controlled opposition. Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it? It's bonkers. I mean, so many, leaders, come to power. I mean, she was tipped as she's going to be the one who's really going to do about it, turn back the tide of illegal immigration, and like it is, they're just as bad as the previous ones. Say all and do fuck all. Okay, let's see. Bottle baby, it assumes that they owe repatriation. Did the Romans make amends? No, I don't believe they did. I think they disappeared. If you watch that movie, The Fall of the Roman Empire, I mean, they all ended up. There's all kinds of theories on why the Roman Empire fell. I think it was because they overstretched themselves. It's okay invading all of these countries, but then you've got to, you've got to stay there and manage those countries, and it became too much for them, didn't it? Martin Ryder, all right, but apart from the sanitation, medicine, education, wine, public order, irrigation, roads, the freshwater system, and public health, what have the Romans ever done for us? Very, very good. Very, very good. I think I've heard that before, but good stuff. McLaren, all Caesar brought us was the bloody salad. Okay. He also built a good palace, didn't he? Caesar's palace. Oh, that was supposed to be pretty good as well. Adventures around the world. To be fair, I believe Iceland should be paying reparations to the world for Björk. But whatever happened to Björk? She made a couple of good songs and then a couple of irritating ones. Glenn Wyndham. California is passing reparations for African Americans, $1 million each. Really? It sounds like a bloody good deal to me. Paul Hoskin, straight roads. Yeah, Bobby Crush. We need to rebuild the British Empire because the current American empire is pathetic. Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I don't think we're qualified to say that. We're British. We're not Americans. Martin Ryder, Bernie Winters was involved in. Well, really, I couldn't imagine. Is that life's full of surprise? I couldn't imagine that somehow. Really, first I've heard of that one. Let's see. Okay, so London Cab Thailand is here. Happy Independence Day to America. Evening all. Okay, fair enough. So anyway. Sean Harris, they've just put the British Empire back on the A-level curriculum, okay? McLaren F1, Snorbit was too busy powdering his nose when Bernie Winters. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see it, okay? Toby Price. Look at the map of Africa and the Middle East. It was all divided up by Europe. Okay, fair enough. Just say hello to David R. David R is here. Happy 4th of July. And happy 4th of July. He's in California right now and he's planning on going out to Thailand again soon. Good for him. Nice to hear from you, David. Bobby Crush. Britain made the modern world. I'd like to thank the USA for hot dogs. That's an interesting question. When us Brits think of America, what do we think is the best thing to come out of America? For me, it's the obvious thing. It's the Hollywood film industry. I mean, if I was to, ask you what are your top 10 favorite movies of all time, I bet you at least 9 of them would probably be American. America has gave the world. Any country which gives the world Clint Eastwood is worth its salt. Absolutely. Paul Hoskin, what do they do before toilet paper and wet wipes? Well, if you've ever read any history, it's actually quite appalling. Even you don't have to go back to the Roman time, even when you go back to Victorian times, they didn't have public toilets and Yeah, I don't have public toilets being invented them, and you know, and oh, that must have been bloody smelly period of time. Imagine being in Dickensian London. In those days, the days of that what Charles Dickens wrote about, the Oliver Twist days. That must have been one stinky, stinky country. You know why the women wore these sorts of long skirts and all that? Because they didn't go to the toilet. They just disgraced themselves, and with these long skirts that they were wearing, you couldn't say, oh, it must have been a stinky, stinky bloody place to be. Terrible. Adventures around the world that use leaves, okay? Vin Valentine, can't believe you get men begging that are healthy and use the benefit system and want to be bums. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Brian Street, what happened to Emu since Rod Hull died? I thought he was the best one in the duo and should have gone solo. Yeah, absolutely. I like Emu. I like Emu. Bottle Baby, has Eddie been drinking? Yeah, Cadbury's hot chocolate. Super Adventures. I love Vikings and Roman empires. Okay. Legan. Hi Eddie. I think it's the lazy ones that want something for nothing. I keep bringing up crap that happened years ago. I mean, I think it's. I mean, Britain's a public convenience. I mean, in this day and age, we have social media in this day and age, and believe me, I've been to India and I've met Indian people who know about our stupid soft touch benefit system. I've had Indian people saying to me, "What is it about your country where you allow everyone to go there and claim your ridiculously expensive, generous benefit system?" Indian people know about our benefit system before they come to this country. In Turkey, Turkish people have said the same. What is it about your country with this ridiculously expensive benefit system? Let us go to their country and try claiming benefits there, and see how far we get. John Mitch, Thai girls can teach the Brits a thing or two about personal hygiene, especially the use of the bum gun. I think the use of the bum gun is a bloody good invention. Sean Harris, Ed, have you ever been to Birkenhead? Yeah, when I was a child, that was the closest I ever got to a holiday. I mean, for me, Birkenhead was an exotic destination. Come from getting the ferry, across the Mersey to Birkenhead. That was like an exotic destination. Let's see, Tiki B. How much would the USA immigrants have to pay Native Americans? That's a big question. Paul Hoskin, all those hairy Roman girls, yummy. I think you've been watching a movie called Caligula. I think there's a blue movie version of that. There's a full unedited, explicit version of that. Very very good movie, Caligula. Very very good movie, and yeah, all those lovely bears with skimpy clothing on and nice hairy womanly, oh lovely stuff. Oh, I might try and dig that one out tonight and watch that. Ian Bowden, good evening, Ed. Finally logged in. Staying with friends in Cornwall tonight. Oh, that sounds like a lovely place to be. Cornwall's beautiful. Cornwall is a beautiful, beautiful place. And very, very cozy. And what area are you staying in? Have a lovely time, mate. Sounds like a nice place to be. I'm not going to read this one out because it's a bit too explicit. But I apologise for all the Vikings. And it's my fault. I'm Swedish. Okay. Nice to hear from you, mate. Anyway, nice to hear from you. Gemini stars, it raining in Cornwall. It's bloody raining everywhere, mate. Guy, damn the politicians and governments dragging the countries down. Okay. Damon says, Ed, Bernie Winters was my granddad's friend, and my granddad used to look after sore bits. I used to walk sorbets when I was a young boy. That's cool. That is cool. Snorbit was a Saint Bernard. Beautiful dog. Beautiful dog. I think Bernie Winters. You know, he was his brother was Mike Winters, and Mike was the Mr. Love himself. I mean, he's probably a nice guy, but Mike was the good-looking one, and Bernie was the one who went, you know, the gormless one. But somebody probably advised Bernie to go solo, you know, to dump. I don't know if he was advised to, you know, to dump Mike. I don't know if that's true or whatever. But he went solo, didn't he? Had his own series, Bernie, with Snorbits, but it never really took off. I don't think it really took off. Ed ventures around the world. Ed, I think you need to get out to retire and start paying some reparations. In good time, mate. In good time. Paul Hoskin, did they have soap and deodorant in Roman times? Oh, I think to shit in the corner. Let's see. Ian Bowden knows my answer. Just like today's Germans are not. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We don't want to mention that word, but yeah, I get the gist. The question is, should us Brits be held responsible for things that happened hundreds of years ago? No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. Yeah, traveller lad. So we should only help women and children, and not the men. Well, whatever. That's a big question. That is. Yeah, King. Have you given up booze out? I think 94 in it. Yeah. Let's see. Martin Ryder. What I'm looking for is someone who can contribute to what England has given to the world: culture, sophistication, genius. A little bit more than a hot dog. Know what I mean? Long good variety. Okay, fair enough. America gave a lot to the world. America's given us all those wonderful movies, you know, from the history of Humphrey Bogart and John Ford and Howard Hawks and all the way up to Steven Spielberg and Clint Eastwood and what. America has given the world the greatest movie entertainment, from Gone with the Wind to all of that kind of stuff. So we should thank America. McLaren F1, Caesar gave us the Italian job. Great movie. Ian Bowden, Romans apparently taught us how to build good aqueducts. You had to a very advanced society, weren't they? Martin Ryder, biggest dickers, okay. Sean Harris, Gladiator was a remake of Fall of the Roman Empire. The Fall of the Roman Empire was one of the most handsome of those old, historical epics. It was a really beautifully filmed. That seemed to be called Sophia Loren was in it as well. Lovely stuff, wonderful movie. But I didn't know Gladiator was a remake of it. Yeah, John Mitt says the Romans gave us plumbing and hot baths, showed us how to be hygienic. Yeah, absolutely cool. Yeah, Paul Hoskin, the Romans invented cement. Yeah, McLaren, Romans gave the stupid numerals on a clock. A clock, I think you mean. Martin Ryder says Romans side cousin Tiny Dodgers. Okay, fair. Yeah, Legan, how about Sophia Loren, Claudia Cardiano, my favorite, Luciano Paolucci. That's what the Romans gave us. Absolutely one. Oh, Sophia Loren, Claudia Cardiano. I can't remember what the other one looks like. Here's Avalaf. Throughout all history, mankind has butchered, bullied, and killed each other. Take weapons out of human hands, and most wouldn't get past K9 world. Okay, fair enough. Mo Mac, they all talk the talk, and we as voters vote them in. Okay, fair enough. Let's hide that one a moment. Let's see. Sorry if I'm behind the chatter. Miles behind the chatter. Okay, here we go. Peter Capsock, thank you for that super chat, Peter. $29.99 Canadian dollars. That's very kind of you. Something for the co-op frozen lasagna fund. I bought a load of it today. Greetings, Eddie, from Itaquera, Bahia, Brazil. The simple answer to your question is no. As a Canadian, best wishes to our wonderful US neighbours on the 4th of July. Well, that sounds very, very magnanimous of you. That's really good. Big thanks for that super chat. I've already bought the frozen lasagnas. The co-op frozen lasagna. What I do is I keep it in the freezer. And what sounds weird, I bung it in the microwave for about 5 minutes just to soften it up, and then put it in a preheated oven for about half an hour or maybe 35 minutes. And I have it with toast. And co-op lasagna with toast. It is one meal that never, ever, ever lets me down. It always tastes good. It always tastes good. So I had my last one early today, so I went out and I bought more of them. So there's more in the freezer right now. And anyway, Itaquera, Bahia, Brazil. I haven't been to that. I've been lots of places in Brazil, but I haven't been to that one. But good for you, mate. Anyway, I hope you're having a great time. Good for you. Sounds wonderful. Brazil's a wonderful country. Wonderful, wonderful country. I wouldn't mind another visit there. Let's see. David Martin, Zulu in my top 10. Oh, one of the best movies ever. One of the best movies ever. One of the best movies ever. Brilliant. Seen it many, many times. Yeah, Alta Vista, best thing to come out of America, Amazon. Well, how about Google and YouTube? YouTube's America. Lots of amazing things have come out of America. Ian Bowden, should us Brits be proud of the fact that we have no Independence Day? We have never been taken over till now anyway. Yeah, that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. Well said. Well said. Martin Ryder, have I said that 96 times about, whatever? Sean Harris, the USA even had an expansion policy. At one point, they had the Mexican War and they went to war with Spain, took the Philippines and Puerto Rico. Okay, fair enough. Bottle baby, public totally. Okay. Bobby Cross, USA needs to get past Mexico and get whatever. We're not going to get into that. It's Happy Independence Day for America. Sean Harris. Sean Harris, USA is a great country. I tried for the green card lottery on 2 occasions. Well, you want to ask the help of the British Prime Minister. He's got one, hasn't he? Ancient Greeks gave us a lot more than the Romans. Did they really? Did they really? I don't know. I think the ancient Greek world was somehow secondary to the Romans. Although they did give us a rather good movie called Jason and the Argonauts. That was bloody good. So I'll give them that. Let's see. Spider. How about New Brighton? There, that was the Ritz. And yeah, I loved New Brighton when I was a kid. I did love the New Brighton. That was also like an exotic destination. Jesus, that was like going to Disneyland for me when I was a kid. Yeah, Martin Ryder, those bum guns just leave your ass soaking wet. You have to leave the toilet with wet shorts. Yeah, but in a hot, sweaty climate, it doesn't seem to matter that much, does it? Really, it doesn't really matter that much in a hot, sweaty sweaty climate. In Bowden, staying in a 300-year-old friend's cottage. Your friend's 300 years old at his cottage. 2 miles east of. Oh, that sounds like. I don't know Cornwall that well. I've been to Foy and I've been to Lou and Polperro, and they're beautiful, absolutely lovely. I haven't been to that area. I wouldn't mind exploring that. Let's see. Toby, Sean Harris, if you had to, If you went to holiday in the UK, would you prefer Southport, Blackpool, or Morecambe? Can I have a fourth choice, please? I'd have to choose Blackpool because, you know, it's a great place to visit, terrible place to live in. Ian Bowden, Ed, what are you doing during the days of retirement? Well, I'm still doing a bit of work. Let's see. I'm not retired. I'm doing a bit of work. Not a massive amount of work, but a bit of work anyway. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So anyway, let's see. Sean Adams, what UK coastal towns would the chat recommend? Well, I'll leave it to them. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. Look at the piddling down rain that we got in England in July. The weather's crap in July. I mean, I wouldn't. You know, some of these UK coastal towns can be all right to visit, but I wouldn't book. I would never ever book a holiday in Britain months in advance and pay a lot of money, especially if I had the family to take there, because you just never know what the weather's going to be like. In Britain, there's only one rule with the weather. You get what you're given. You might book something for the peak summer. The weather might be absolute crap. You just can't rely on the weather in this town. And those seaside resorts, any British seaside resort is not a lot of fun when it's pissing down, believe me. Ian Bowden, English nowadays is too often all about fat, lazy, glutinous, foul-mouthed dickheads. I regard myself as none of those. Okay, fair enough. I have a lot of somebody mentioned seaside resorts. A lot of seaside resorts are full of those kind of people. Lazy, foul-mouthed dickheads. Let's see. Ian Brown, Ed, when did you last eat spin? I actually had spinach. I mean, I was experimenting with a few mixes, you know, with fruit juices and putting in some, you know, vegetables with the fruit. I put a carrot in there. I attempted to put spinach in there. Well, I did put spinach in one of them, but yeah, you know, I got a bit tiresome after a while, so I only done it once. Yeah. Ian Bowden says, as the West had its day, American Britain seems to be past their sell-by date by now. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, I'll take that off the screen. I'll take that off the screen for the moment. I'll tell you what. I'll put this on the screen. If somebody wants to phone in and give us an opinion on what you think, without being, you know, abusive or unpolitically correct or using foul language or anything like that. If somebody wants to phone in, I'll take a call from. So remember, that's England. That is, you know, you're welcome to phone in. It's usual whatever you normally pay. Okay, we've got somebody phoning in. Who's this? Yeah, that's Michael Caine. Michael Caine. Okay, bloody good. The Italian job. The Italian job. Okay, that's good. Who was this calling?
Ed, we need to pick up this country, mate.
We need to pick up this country. Okay.
Yeah. Jason Statham.
Yeah. Okay. We need to pick up this country. I mean, absolutely. I mean, Britain is just. Oh, we're letting people coming in and walk all over us now, but we're not the only one. We're not the only. You know what's Toll Verben said. Evening, Eddie. Would it be possible to discuss the state of public toilets in the UK and view its attitude to litter and respect? Yeah, Toll Verben wants to talk about toilets. You want to talk about toilets? No, I don't think so.
He's coming out with good stuff there. I mean, he was trolling.
Toilet talk. You say toilet talk is good stuff. I wouldn't say so. Harold Batterson says, hell yeah to Harold Batterson. So anyway, I've got another question. Okay. I'm going to put this other question on the screen. I mean, it's enlightening. I mean, what do you think of Europe, Clive? What do you think of Europe? Yeah, no, I mean, what do you think the way what do you think of the way that Europe is gone down the toilet? Europe just isn't Europe anymore, is it really?
I have nothing against Europe at all. Now, Brexit was basically an independence from the EU. I did not you, I did not like our country being dictated by Brussels and where is it, Strasbourg. On our policies and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Britain is better than that. Britain is a special case. We're a special needs. We're a special case, Britain. We've always been independent. Yes, we've been taken over by the Vikings and the Romans, periodically. But at the end of the day, we brought, inadvertently, we brought the internet.
Yes.
I know the Americans, they perfected it, but what was that guy's name? Burns, whatever his name was. We invented the internet, which is an integral part of the world. How it operates. If we didn't have the internet, I think everything would go to shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the screen anyway. I'm gonna put this on the screen. Now, I was kind of disturbed today because I watched that wonderful guy called History Debunked. Do you ever watch him, History Debunked? It's a YouTube channel. It's an old geezer who basically gives opinions about, largely about immigration and this sort of stuff. But he's fascinating to listen to. But one of his he done a video today, and I was really dismayed by this. It was about that wonderful country called Switzerland. Now, Switzerland has always been notoriously expensive, and it's always had it's always had a reputation for being expensive and for the jet set.
Neutral as well, neutral.
Yeah, it's not a country that I know well. I've only ever driven through there on a coach, been through Switzerland, and it looks absolutely stunning with the mountains. It looks amazing. And if ever I like movies that are set in European locations, and I want Europe to look like Europe. And Switzerland, wonderful place. I mean, that would be one of my dream places to live, Switzerland, if I was a millionaire. But apparently Switzerland, that is not part of the European Union. Switzerland is now having problems with immigrants running wild and driving up the crime rate. And what the hell has happened? I mean, in the heart of Europe, this has happened. And all of these wonderful European countries like Italy and France. Look at the riots in France. I mean, it's mass immigration is bloody destroying the European culture. Europe just isn't Europe anymore. If I go to Spain or Italy, I want those countries to look like what I the images that I've grown up with.
But Switzerland looks like a great place. I'd love to go and visit it, but they're very standoffish. They sit on the fence. They actually banned motor racing. Yeah. They banned the motor racing. You can go and squirrel all your cash, in Switzerland. Whenever there's any sort of problems in the world, they're like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about this. Yeah. I mean, great. They gave us the Swiss Army knife. Yeah. But when was the last time the Swiss Army actually fought anybody? They've had that much time, to themselves that they've perfected the army knife, the multi. Switzerland's a bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nice chocolate though. Nice chocolate.
Yeah, nice chocolate, and obviously, I mean, Simon Webber, listen, goes to the famous line from Orson Welles in The Third Man, and I believe Orson Welles wrote his own dialogue in that movie, as I recall, that Switzerland had so many centuries of brotherly love, and came up with the cuckoo clock. But I think it's unfair. I tell you what, for some people to say that Switzerland is one of the most boring countries in the world, well, I wouldn't mind visiting it. It looks absolutely fantastic.
I wouldn't. They're not boring.
No.
They make some of the finest timepieces in the world.
Yeah.
You could go into a shop and buy a Swiss watch for 4 figures.
Yeah.
They're very, very sophisticated sophisticated, a very sophisticated country, but
yeah.
I just don't get them. They don't sort of back anybody. They're not in the EU, which fair play to them, like for that.
I think
can't blame them for that.
I think what it was with Switzerland, why they grew their wealth, is that when all the countries around them were killing each other in the Second World War, Switzerland stayed out of it and developed, became a safe haven for the banking system, didn't it? They were doing other things while they were keeping their head when all around them were losing theirs.
I don't think I'd ever trust one.
Yeah.
Honestly, the past history and all the rest of it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, Bottle Baby says, if I ever go to Spain, I expect to visit Spain. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, who's this? Glenn Wendon. Don't forget about Swiss Miss Hot Cocoa. That was a movie with Laurel Lenardi. See, the thing is, Europe's a wonderful continent, and it was the continent that I always grew up wanting to visit. Really, Italy, but I wanted it to live up to the expectations. These stereotypical images. When I go to Switzerland, I want to see mountains. I want to breathe the fresh Swiss air. I don't want to see bloody, illegal immigrants stabbing each other in the name of jihadi. I don't want any of that. I mean, it just seems to me that Europe is turning to shite. I mean, you look what's happening in France.
We should not have joined the EU in the first place, I don't think. we're an island country. Whatever it's better. Pushed us into the EU.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, did John Major get us over the line with the EU? I don't know. But I think we joined the EC, which is a trading bloc.
Yeah.
Which basically, which is easier trading, less tax or no tax or whatever. Like, but we didn't have to join the EU.
Well, the thing is, I mean, we originally joined something called the Common Market, didn't we? Way back in the 70s. Yeah, well, we called it the Common Market in those days, and then we called it the EEC and whatever. But I think most people voted for Europe in the 1970s because we weren't really used to going to Europe. A lot of ordinary working class people weren't used to going on holidays way back in the 70s, and we felt that Europe was still somewhere exotic. We felt Europe was, and we wanted to be a part of it. But now, who now would say that Europe is exotic or cultural? I mean, the thing is, it's cultural, but it's the wrong bloody culture. The
European Economic Community was a bloc formed to trade, basically, not to dictate our laws, how long we have, prisoners in, how we treat people in prisons, or how we, I don't know, there's a whole thousand probably, different things, list of what we have to adhere to, because we're in the EU.
Yeah.
Well, the UK is better than that.
Yeah.
The UK is independent. I mean, if America, all of a sudden, they decided to join the Americas, North and South America as a block, and America was forced to, the USA I'm all about, as America, was forced to, adhere to laws across the Americas, the whole continent. They made laugh their heads off.
Yeah.
Why did we have to do it? I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I must admit when I seen that episode of History Debunked today about Switzerland, I was dismayed because I haven't really heard. I've heard that Sweden and obviously France and so many other countries have a problem with illegal immigrants coming into our country and wanting to kill us all after we've been good to them. But I thought Sweden was a country because they had the controversy about is it called the Marionettes? They voted to ban marionettes in Switzerland, and also the burqa. And it seems to me that was one of those countries that was standing up because they're not part of the the European Union as it's known. So they were standing up.
Another
Yeah.
I mean, Sweden has a lot of terrorism. And France.
Yeah.
People, countries that have stood up to it. I don't know if it's.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the thing is, how are these people getting into Switzerland anyway? I always thought Switzerland was a super rich country, and in order to go there, you're not going to get any benefit or nothing, and any benefit. You're not going to get that sort of thing. And you have to pay for expensive accommodation. So how are these bloody illegal immigrants getting into Switzerland in the first place? It seems pretty bizarre.
The only thing that brings them up is Switzerland is skiing. This country, it looks beautiful and all the rest of it, but so does Wales.
Yeah.
So does Scotland. You know what I mean? It's not green and lush, and the sound and music and all that.
I think that was Austria, actually. That was.
That was it. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Close, but not quite there. I mean, I always thought Switzerland was like one of the most desirable places anywhere in the European continent. I mean, I've driven through Switzerland and it looks absolutely amazing, and I'd love to spend time there. But how did these illegals get into Switzerland? I mean, which hotel who let them in the first place? I thought Switzerland had very, very strict rules regarding this, and they can't come into Switzerland on a boat anyway. They can't come on a boat because Switzerland is a landlocked country. So how did he get in there in the first place? But apparently the crime rate, most of the crime is committed by foreigners in Switzerland, not Swiss nationals. Their crime rate is going up the same as the crime rate is in Sweden. And it's just sickening. It's absolutely sickening. I mean, I would love to visit these places. I've been to France and many other places. I'd love to visit these places and see the images that I grew up with. But the France that you grow up dreaming about, the Paris, doesn't exist anymore. The London that you grow up dreaming about doesn't exist anymore. And we all know why it doesn't exist anymore. It's because of other bloody people coming in there and destroying it, you know.
I lived in France for a year or so, in Béziers, which is southern France. And, I don't know. I could speak a little bit. I could buy a pack of fags.
Yeah.
I could buy a pack of Marlboro from the tobacco. That's about it, really. I thought the French were up themselves, to be honest. They thought like they were. I don't know. It's weird. Now that's southern France. Northern France, I think they're a bit more like us. Yeah, they're a bit more, because obviously there's different parts of any country at the end of the day.
Well, I went to Paris in the early 90s, so that's over 30 years ago. And I remember I went there on a coach, and when the coach was pulling into Paris, I mean, I could see the image of the Eiffel Tower, the famous image of the Eiffel Tower. But before I got there, I could see lots of sort of Middle Eastern people, on the streets, market stalls and all that. And I thought when I went to France, I thought, Paris, I thought I was going to see Brigitte Bardot and many other, French-looking people.
France is a crap hole, mate.
Is it really? Yeah, is it?
It's full of Algerians, Libyans, pretty much most of Northern Africa, because it's apart from the tip of Spain, which is probably, Malaga and all the rest of it, which is like not that far away from Northern Africa. I mean, they work their way up and just work out the different countries and their different. I don't know. The government's different policies and think, we'll just live here at the end of the day. Béziers was a beautiful place. Béziers had a bull ring. Well, I'm not into like sport, that sort of stuff. Sports and all the rest of it. But the place was beautiful. The bull ring was in the middle of Béziers. Now an old town as well, which is Muslim, predominantly Muslim. beautiful. Like the newer part of Beziers was a crap hole, but
No, but all as I know is that when I was a young kid and I never travelled anywhere, I seen these images on films and in magazines and on documentaries. I seen images of all these wonderful European countries. And such a variety. I mean, Europe's quite a small continent when you compare it to North America and Canada and all of that. Europe's quite a small continent, but all these wonderful variety of cultures in Spain and France and even places like Switzerland. And when I visited Europe, I wanted it to live up to expectations. But now I'm hearing of jihadi, stabbings in Switzerland, and it sickens me. It honestly sickens me to think that Europe. It just seems to me that European countries have allowed themselves to go down a bloody toilet.
I expect you saw my comment the other day about that policeman. That policeman did not know whether that kid was doing something wrong or why did he drive off? You don't just drive off from a policeman, do you? He thought.
Well, that's a bit controversial. We can't really comment on that.
I know it is because of his race. I know.
Okay. Anyway. Listen. Okay. Anyway. Well, thanks for calling in. Anyway, I'm going to leave the phone if somebody else wants to phone in as well. But you're always welcome, Clive, and you always give us some interesting insight. Anyway. So anyway, Clive McLaren, thanks for calling in again. Thanks for your opinions and everything. And I'll leave the phone line on there to see if somebody else wants to phone in. Okay. Anyway.
Have a good rest of the weekend.
Okay, all the best, mate. Cheers. Bye. Cheers. Okay, so that was Clive McLaren. He's phoned in a few times. He's always interesting. He's always got some really good opinions. Let's just have a little look at this one. Charlie, no medicine, no food, mass unemployment, house price crash, planes are allowed over Europe, no sportsmen allowed to play, no imports, no exports. World War. I think the whole world's turning to shit, mate. The whole world is turning to shit. Who's this? We've got somebody else. We've got somebody else phoning in now. Hello?
Yes, we've got somebody else.
No, that's me.
Somebody else phoning in. Hi.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
It's Bernie Winters.
Oh, Bernie Winters. Yeah.
Yes, I remember him well.
Yeah.
So it's your roving Nottingham reporter, David Marchant.
Oh, David Marchant. Nice to hear from you, David. You phoned in before. It's great to hear from you, David. How are things with you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's no rain today here.
Well, you're in Nottingham.
Yeah, it's rain-free.
Oh, is it really? Well, you can have some of ours if you want, because it was piddling down here today. Absolutely bloody awful. I mean, the thing is, the British weather like teases you, doesn't it? You get a nice heat wave around about June, and then people start saying it's going to be the hottest summer on record, and then a few weeks later you're saying, where the hell is it? You're getting your umbrellas out. So Wimbledon, yeah. Yeah, as long as it doesn't guarantee Cliff Richard, I don't mind. Hopefully bloody Cliff Richard won't seize the moment like he did before. So anyway, David, you had a few medical issues. How are you keeping these days? Perhaps you'd like to tell us.
I'm plodding on.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I can do.
Yeah.
And loads of tests and stuff. I've got to go to the hospital every week. I'm having CT scans to make sure nothing's spread.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't supply anything.
Yeah.
I've got no idea how this would affect travel insurance. Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in the chat knows.
Oh well, the travel insurance. I mean, it's obviously Well, funny enough, I done a little video last year about travel insurance, and the chat was very helpful. The comments on the video were very helpful, and they helped me to choose to choose my insurance for 4 months out there. So maybe somebody will recommend that.
Yeah, so that's the concern, because, this is going to end one day anyway, all this testing and monitoring and prodding and poking and what have you. And I'd like to get away again.
Yeah.
Just to see the Swiss Army knife being made in Switzerland.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
If it was that.
What are your images of Europe, David? I mean, do you think Europe is a wonderful continent? I mean,
I love Europe.
Yeah, I do too.
I love Europe, but it's like the rest of the world. It's finished.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's finished. I think I'd say Europe is they've allowed people to come in and bloody ruin their country. I mean, we've all been a soft touch. We've all been too generous, too sympathetic to these people. I mean, but I know I'm repeating myself, but when I heard this stuff, I've heard about Sweden and other countries many times allowing themselves, to have a rise in crime rate due to being sympathetic towards immigrants. But when I heard this stuff about Switzerland today, it kind of shocked me. Because, I mean, if Switzerland is one of the most desirable countries in the world. I wouldn't mind spending a bit of time there. And I wouldn't want to be going there to bloody stab people either.
Yeah, I have been. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place. Go on them mountain railways.
Yeah. Oh, I never got round to doing any of that. That sounds fantastic. I'd love to do that. Is that really, really expensive, is it, though?
Yes.
Yeah, I would imagine it is expensive.
It isn't cheap.
Yeah.
You need more than €10. Well, you don't have euros, do you?
Yeah.
You have the Swiss franc.
It has always been a notoriously expensive country. I mean, it's popular with the rich and famous and skaters and all that kind of stuff. But it is a country that I'd like to visit.
Yeah, well, you had people like Charlie Chaplin lived there, didn't he?
Yeah.
He went there to live. David Bowie.
Phil Collins apparently went to live there, didn't he? Yeah. Oh, Tina Turner went to live there. She actually got residency, didn't she?
Yeah. A lot of famous people have gone to spend time in Switzerland.
Yeah, absolutely. So if it's one of those countries, but if there's some of the most desirable countries in the world, Switzerland is up there with the best of them. Yeah. Dan says Europe is being ruined by mass immigration from incompatible cultures. Very, very nicely said. Very, very nicely said, Dan. Very nicely said.
But what I like about Europe as well is like the different architecture you get to see.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You can go somewhere like Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And the houses, they're tall and thin.
Yeah.
Stopping, I don't know, 9,000 stairs to get up to your room and stuff like that. It's amazing. Some of the chateaus in France.
Yeah, absolutely. You see. I mean, maybe I have a naive, viewpoint, but I want Europe to look like Europe. I wanted to live up to the images. I mean, where I went to Munich once, and like they've got a problem. They've got a problem with immigration there. I won't go into too much details, but I was kind of shocked when I looked around me at the people there in Munich. This was just about maybe 6 years ago, something like that. And then I went to Bavaria, in Bavaria, and I know it sounds a bit namby-pamby, but I like the idea of the mountains with the chocolate box, chalets and all that kind of stuff. I like it to live up to all of that.
I like going to. What I did enjoy was when I went to Italy was San Marino.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there, Ed?
San Marino. I haven't been to San Marino. I've been to Italy, but I haven't been to San Marino. That's a little time. They've got a football team, haven't they?
Have they? I know they've got a lot. Well, where I was there, they had a lot of Michael Schumacher memorabilia.
Yeah.
It's a while since I've been.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When he was driving
Yeah.
They've got a castle at the top.
Yeah.
At the top of the town. It's amazing. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
Yeah.
And I like San Marino just for a day.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that big. You know, it's sort of on 3 levels: the low level, the middle level.
Yeah.
Which is all the commercial stuff, and then the tourist level, which is quite high up.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that when I was in Italy, just to level.
Yeah.
We're not too far from San Marino. Let's go and have a day there and see what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you like it.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I was in a bar in Turkey a few years ago, and England were playing San Marino. You know, the football was on in the bar, and England were playing San Marino. I believe it was a qualifier for the Euros or the World Cup or whatever the hell it was. But England beat San Marino, and people were congratulating themselves. And me, being the cynic that I am, I thought they've beaten the bloody country where most people don't even know where this is. And I said to some of the guys in the bar, I said, okay, I'll be the dummy here. Where exactly is San Marino? And some of the guys looked at me and said, "What? You don't know where San Marino is?" I said, "No, I'll be the dumb one. Where exactly is San Marino?" And the guys kind of looked at each other, and then they didn't know either. One of them ended up getting their smartphone out and looking at it on the map. Oh, it's here. It's just a little corner of Italy. They didn't bloody know where it was either.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not celebrating a glorious victory to boost our empire.
Yeah.
It's like, no, not unless you're into Ferrari and Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
When I was there, which was 2004, I think.
Yeah.
So it's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
When I was there. But it's like the time I spent in Italy. I loved my time in Italy. I thought it was great.
Well, I traveled around Italy about 30 odd years ago. And the only disappointment I had, I thought it was a wonderful country. I went to Venice, Rome, Florence, a few other places. Absolutely wonderful. The only disappointment I had is that I thought there was going to be loads of Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I didn't see one. I think everyone was driving Fiats and motorbikes. You know, yeah.
And the driving is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you just go where you want.
Yeah.
From what eyes can see. Motorbikes and scooters and stuff like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's well, I had a wonderful time in Italy. I thought it was great.
To wonderful.
4th of July to all the folks who were celebrating Happy 4th of July there.
Okay, that's cool. Let me just say hello to Spitz Energy. He's in the chat. Ian Bowden is asking the question: who was the best leader in Europe regards to looking after their own people? And Spitz Energy says Poland and Hungary. You see, those countries. Now, I haven't been to Hungary, but I have been to Krakow in Poland, and they don't seem to have that. You know, the problem with these immigrants. You know, they seem to be a lot stricter on who's coming into their countries. You know, if you're in Krakow, you don't see, you know, the kind of shite that you know around the city centre that we get in our cities. You really don't see it.
Yeah, I've not been there. I've been to Budapest.
Yeah.
But I've not been to Poland.
Yeah.
You know, so but again, that's 35 years ago since I was in Budapest. So who knows how everywhere changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everywhere changes.
Yeah. I'll have to I'll have to. Maybe Hungary could be on the menu for me. Sometime in the summer. I don't know. That's a country I haven't been to. I did go to Romania last year, and I thought that was a lovely country. I really liked Romania a lot, especially Transylvania. So Gemini Star says Romania government don't give a damn about the people. Well, there is a lot of corruption there. There's a town in Romania called Sibiu, and it's beautiful historical town, and a lot of the roofs of the houses have, you know, windows that look like eyes. And I think the message is, you know, we're watching the corrupt government It's supposed to be symbolic.
Yeah, sinister symbolism.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit sinister, doesn't it? Or
Okay. Yeah.
Or cynical.
Okay. Anyway, listen, David, we've been on for an hour and 40 minutes now, so I'm going to wrap this up now. Anyway, we've had a little bit of a chat. I'll say thanks once again for tuning in anyway. It's crazy of you to tune in. We've had 2 callers tonight. Maybe on the next live stream, we might get 3 callers. So, and as long as everybody can hear the phone and hear what everyone's saying anyway. So anyway, take care of yourself, David. Great to hear you again.
And everybody else.
Okay, and everybody. Okay. 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 All the best, mate. Have a lovely evening. Okay, I'll see you soon. Cheers. Cheers. Okay, that was David Martin there. Okay, so anyway, that we've had 2 callers tonight. It'd be nice if we have, a few more. People, we kind of it's difficult to break the talk about people calling in, but we've had a couple of callers. We had John Mitt phoning last night. So hopefully on the next live stream, we'll get a few more callers in anyway. Okay, so anyway, what have we got now? I'm going to wrap this up soon because we've been on. Let's see, Spider traditional white. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Ian Bowden. If Europe is bad now, what would it be like for our daughters in 20 years' time? I mean, Europe. I mean, honestly, when I grew up and I wanted to travel the world, Europe was the place that I wanted to see first of all. I wanted to see the wonderful castles, the culture of France and Spain and Italy and all the history and all of that. But it looks like, I mean, when you're hearing the bloody stabbings, jihadi stabbings in Switzerland, as well as all the shite that goes on in France and other countries, what does it come to? I'm really, really dismayed by it all. It's not just Britain that is a soft country, allowing people to come in illegally and walk all over us. European countries are doing it as well. Anyway, I'm going to say good night. I'm going to say good night now anyway. We've had a couple of calls. Like I say, hopefully next time on Friday evening, we'll get a few more calls. People will call in. That phone number is harmless enough. You can phone that number. It's a UK mobile number. So whatever you normally pay, whatever the normal charges are. Some people like so many minutes included in their contract, so it won't cost you anything. If that's what your phone is all about. So anyway, I'm going to say good night now. I'll see you on Friday evening at 9 o'clock. And in the meantime, have a great week. Happy Independence Day to America. Happy July the 4th. I'll say good night. Thank you. Let's hope the weather improves. Thanks for the chappies who called in. And I'll see you on Friday at 9 o'clock. Have a good week, guys. Cheers.